Graham here, and here is a game of Muskets and Tomahawks, specifically Shakos and Bayonets, and we played a 435-point game of French against Austrians. The game itself didn't last very long for one of us. We've introduced some house rules to improve our own gameplay. After the game played, and today I had a Zoom call with Alex, we discussed the house rules we played and maybe some improvements we need to think about. Please view and feedback. Your words and your thoughts are very much appreciated. Anyway, here's the armies. As you can freeze the picture and see our two 430-point armies. Here's the terrain. We rolled it randomly. There's lots of trees. The buildings we can't enter. Looked great. We deployed nearest the camera is the French, and Alex was joined by Gordon, a new player to Muskets and Tomahawks, so obviously we're interested in his thoughts and experiences after the game. Anyway, hope you enjoy it, and as I said before, please feedback.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Alex.
Hello, Graham.
Good evening, Gordon. So Gordon today is joining Alex and I in a game of Muskets and Tomahawks. Alex has designed this scenario purposely to destroy my French. I know he has, because that's what he does. Alex is one of the top Muskets and Tomahawks people, and he's got the inside line on all the rules. So today he's going to carry me through this game. Alex is shaking his head.
No.
So this is where we deployed. We're playing basically a crash and bash game would be the best way to describe it. And we've got some house rules as well, which I'll introduce later, but or you'll see them before this starts. But we're trying to play the game again because we haven't played them in a little while, and it should be fun. What I might do is not record the first few turns until we get a bit closer, because I'm conscious I'm trying to keep the game time down a little bit. So let's see what happens. Anyway, off we go. Right, okay, so I wasn't going to bother recording anything so early in the game. I thought there'd be a little bit of jostling and getting into position. So we've introduced Gordon, the new player, to the game. He activates the Jaegers to fire. He kills 4 on this unit. We then roll with the local rule to see if he wounds the officer. He kills the officer. I then do a morale test and I roll a 1. So that means these basically have routed. This has all happened on the very first turn. Gordon is looking very sheepish indeed, and I'm a little bit embarrassed for him. But there we go.
That's very unfortunate. It was a great roll with 6 dice.
Sorry about that.
Dear oh Lord. So down straight away. Here we go. Anyway, so it's going to be a very quick game, this, I think. Anyway, what's next? Is it my turn, is it?
It's your turn. Well, we've got 2 fire markers now, Gordon, which means we've got to spend 2 turns
These are my
reloading.
2 cards.
So they don't shoot very often, but when you do shoot, you want to make the best use of them, which is exactly what you did. So
I'm going to spend 2 tokens.
Yes.
And these are going to advance to the edge of the wood.
All right.
Like that. Unbelievable.
You played sharp practice before. I mean, this is similar to that. So we need to move our line infantry up next. So we're going to do line infantry.
So you're playing
So we've got only a 4-inch move now because there's someone within 24 inches.
Alex is playing this somewhat cheesy formation of Austrians in large blocks. And he's saying nothing at all. He's pursing his lips as I say this. Okay, so I'm going to play your light infantry, so I get a token. So your light infantry now can, because they've got rifles.
Oh, okay. So we need to, take one of them away.
Yes, sir. So they're reloading.
Right, is it our turn again?
It is your turn.
Okay. Now the thing
so
is,
got 1 card, and how many counters you got? You got 1 counter.
Yeah, so we can't do anything. So we're going to have to let you play your light infantry.
Oh, right.
We do get 3 more cards, yeah.
And a counter as
and
well.
we get a counter as well.
Right, so it seems sense What do I need to hit them? I'm at 10 inches away, so I'm under half range to shoot the
Okay,
jokers.
well you'll be hitting on sixes, is it?
Fours, because I'm half range. No, sorry, yeah, sixes.
No. Your
Sixes.
basic thing is
Roll together, sorry.
fives, right?
Fives to shooting, yeah.
Right. Now so you say they're within 12 inches,
They are
so
within
there's no
12.
minuses there.
All there as well.
But they're in extended order, so it goes up to sixes. And I'm also in dense cover, which is -2.
Target is in extended order.
Yeah, target in dense cover. So you'll be hitting on eights and nines on your dice.
Or, alternatively, these guys in the open.
That'll be a better target.
I think it's a better. So what do I need? So I'm on fives.
You'll be fives. Are they within 12 inches?
They are. So it's -1. No, sorry.
No, there's no minuses for
minuses.
because they're within 12
Fives.
inches. But there are it'll be a straight five,
It's
won't
going to be a
it?
straight five. This is where we see. So I've got 2, 4. The officer hasn't got a rifle. Fives needed. Come on, baby. Well, do I re-roll? No, I've got sharpshooters, Alex.
You have, so you can re-roll noughts.
I rolled a nought, so I'm going to re-roll that. That comes out that comes out. So I hit 4 times.
That's good.
4 to kill, so I'm on 4s.
So you're on fours, yeah.
4s to kill.
Only one.
Just the one. Not the 4 that Gordon rolled. Not that I'm bitter. However, because he's taken 1 casualty, he needs to do a morale test, don't you? So pop it in there. 5, not the one that I rolled.
They're going to be all right with that. They've got an officer with them 6.
They're large.
They're formed up. Let's just go through
So
this.
I fired, musket, so I put a little 1
So
fire
I've got an
marker.
officer nearby, so it's 6, that's
Fire
+1. It's 10 figures or more, that's +2, so it's now on 8. And it's formed up, another 2, it's on 10. So it's off the scale, it's definitely no effect. Big units are good for morale, especially in formation.
Especially cheesy Austrians.
So is that your move?
You did that on me, didn't you?
No, you did.
No, I played 2 counters.
You paid 2 counters.
So, yeah,
So
so-
it's our turn. What have we got? Let's have a look. We've got that.
And one of these.
What's? Yeah, we don't want to do that.
This is what I got.
I think we want to do this because it means they can read. Oh no, they haven't got an officer. Both these units can then do something. Or no, that's the same, isn't it? Yeah, let's do that one then. Yeah.
So what are you playing?
Line infantry.
Line infantry.
So they're playing the red line infantry, which is theirs. So now you move 4 inches.
Now I'm gonna fire with these because we know he's within 12 inches. Now I've got 2 options here. This is an interesting thing where you've only got. If it was only 8 men, you could do volley fire, or I can do volley fire as well. But you've got a choice of either doing volley fire or firing all 8 men. Because volley fire, you throw for the men you're shooting at, not the unit that's shooting. So if I did volley fire, we would roll for 7 men there, and we kill on noughts and ones, and they don't get to save; they're dead. But if you roll the dice for each man, you get 8. You get 8 chances of hitting, but you've got to use the normal thing in here. But they also get cover in there. They're going to get -2. So my infantry, but because it's a big unit, I'll come back to this in a minute. Because it's a big unit, right? So they hit on 6+. But he's in extended order and he's in dense cover. So that's now hitting on 9+. I'm only hitting on 9s. 0s count as nothing. So he hasn't got much chance of doing any damage because I've got to roll 9s to actually hit a unit. Then he can still try and save them anyway. However, it's a big unit. I could roll all 16 dice because they're all within that arc of fire. So it's either, sorry, it's not 16 now, I've lost one, haven't I? It'll be 15 men shooting, or I do volley fire, but he doesn't get cover for volley fire because there's a mass of bullets coming into him. So I've got a decision to make to either do volley fire on him, or I do shooting with 15 men, but they're only going to hit on 9s.
Also, if you lose a casualty on volley fire, you get an additional minus on your morale. What are you going to do?
Volley fire.
Well, I don't know why you were even thinking about it, Alex, to be fair.
If they were in the open, I think I'd be better off shooting 15 of them.
Yeah.
But because they've got that cover...
Go on then, roll your... Now you need to put one nominated dice for my big man.
Yeah, your big man will be the orange dice.
The orange and yellow dice?
Yes.
Okay. Zeros and ones?
Zeros and ones. Well, in fact, we're doing this thing where the amendment, isn't it? Where the house rule, where for shooting, if he's within range of the unit being shot at.
So you don't roll for him then?
No, you don't roll separately.
But then you roll...
you roll under with the...
So you need to roll 6 dice then?
So no, 6 dice. No, oh yeah, it's your unit. No, it's my unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, he must count. He's still a body there. He's still 7.
So you get double chances on them. One, you get a chance on the volley fire, and secondly, you get a chance if you kill a figure. Doesn't seem right. You either have one or the other, I would say. Can't have it both ways. This is rolling 6 dice, although albeit the officer is there, but there's an opportunity of killing the officer if we lose figures.
Yeah.
Zeros and ones. I wish you the worst of luck, Alex. Oh my giddy aunt. Just the 2.
2 zeros. Yeah. So he's lost 2 men. We're going to see one of those as the officer, so I need a 0 and a 1. No, so the officer isn't one of the casualties. But he's lost 2 men.
So now do you want to pop it back? I've got to do a morale test.
You've got to do your officer first.
3. Officer +1, 4.
Yeah, so he gets +1 for the officer because he's an officer 4.
But you get a minus for...
They don't have the native trait, do they? No.
No.
Not solid cover.
But there's a minus one.
Right. They got a -1 for being shot at by volley fire, and another -1
for being received
from a formed unit in close
so
order.
-1. So I'm down to 1. He's down to 1. The officer's down to 1, isn't he? And the officer is...
So he started off 3. He's an officer 4.
Yeah.
And he now loses
2.
2. So it's down to 2, isn't he?
And the officer is... He's trained.
Is he trained? No, he's a skirmisher, isn't he?
Oh.
Or is he?
He's a skirmisher.
Yeah. So the skirmisher means he's got to flee.
Flight. So he's running away.
So he's got to flee. Normal move.
5 inches. Which, but also it means with our new rules that he cannot affect morale rolls.
Yeah, so none of our house rules is that the officer, if he is fleeing, doesn't influence the unit in any way.
He's flighting.
Right.
So now we get down to the unit. We do the morale test. Can I roll anything higher? I've rolled a 1 and a 3 so far. 1. This is going to be a very short game. So I've lost 2 figures.
They're in trouble, mate, aren't they?
No officer. The -1.
He's not an officer.
Rout. I've just lost them. They're gone.
Blimey. Right. Well, it's all going our way. We might be having 2 games tonight. No. So that was our move. You move forward and I shot. So it's your turn.
So I'm going to spend... I've got 8 there. I'm going to spend 3 counters to activate this unit here to do volley fire into there. Now, at an angle, Alex, I would hope it would be sympathetic. If not, I'll use it on them.
Is this, oh, you're paying for this, aren't you? 6 men?
What about them? It'd be 8 there, wouldn't it?
No. It's less. You want to use that one.
So I'm going to fire with them, 6 men into there. 1. Just the 1.
The 1 is dead.
2 fire markers and...
Any possibility of it being the officer?
Yeah, well, I've got to roll, yes. If you roll a 0, it's the officer you've shot.
1. I'm rolling consistently low, but not
Nearly.
low enough. You've now got to do a morale test, Alex.
Yeah.
Alex has rolled a 6. I don't think we'll question that, shall we?
Yeah, we're fine with that, mate.
Okay, so it's your turn.
Yeah, we're going to do our forward boys card.
So you're going to play your forward boys. So basically you activate an officer, each officer activates 1 unit.
I'm going to reload.
So you're going to reload there and
Spread out a bit more.
trouble. As in trouble. Right, so it's my turn. I have no counters and I have 1 card, and the card is your light infantry.
We can reload.
So can I have 3 cards, please, Alex?
That comes off.
It does, so you've reloaded.
I've got a clock card. I've got 2 clock cards.
Oh, that's it.
So it's end of turn. Can I have 2 cards?
So
2 more cards.
and I'll shuffle all these.
So now it's end of turn. So Alex has to shuffle the cards.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's our turn, isn't it? So we have to play this, or we do that.
So how many counters have you got? 2.
We've got 2. So
You only activate 1 unit, can't you?
yeah,
Depends on the size, Gordon. Bigger units.
yeah,
cost
7
more.
units or less is 2 cards. So we could activate them, and they could shoot over there if you wanted. Okay, have a
with
shot.
rifles.
Yeah,
So who are you shooting at? These guys here?
Yeah.
So how far are you away? Over 24?
we're
No, we're under 24.
Under 24?
we're under 24.
But you've got a longer range because your rifles.
Yeah.
Your rifles have a range of...
72, isn't it?
So you're 36, you're half range.
Yeah.
They're powerful. So you're firing against them, so you've got 6 dice.
You've got 6 dice, and you're hitting on, which normally 5, but because they're rifles, it's 4s, and there's no minuses at all.
No, because it's a formed unit in the open.
You want 4s.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Just the 5, Gordon.
Yeah, just the 5.
And because they're not over half range, their strength is 4. So you want with those 5, you want to roll 4 again.
So Gordon's rolled. There's 1 0. You can take that out. But you've hit. What's that thing?
4.
That's a 7. Just the 4. Wow.
I think we'll be starting.
Morale test.
We just
Roll for the officer first.
keep that. Yeah, let's
Do
just see if
you want to
we
keep
kill
that,
it.
Alex?
Yeah, we'll keep that.
Why not? Kick him out while he's down.
What do I need to roll to hit the officer?
Well, he lost 4 men, so it's 3 or under. Yeah, that's a norm. That's good. So you can put one of your men back. You're not going to like this house, all are you, Graham?
No. So, I rolled a 2, which Alex has decided to keep.
No, you've got to roll again.
No, I'll keep it. I did roll with intent. No officer, not 4 figures, not formed up. You killed 4, so that's -3, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm down to -1. Trained, it's a rout.
Your officer stays there.
No, he's dead.
Oh no!
You killed the officer.
Did he die?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So he now has no officers.
We could do another house rule that in this game we can bring on fresh units.
I've got one here.
On the edge of the table.
I've got
Well, he's
one.
with that unit.
He's flighting at the moment.
Yeah. You've got to try and stop him in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. To keep the game going, I think we should do, once you've lost an entire unit, you can bring a fresh unit on from the rear, just to keep the game going.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's going to be over very quickly, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, it effectively is over.
It is. Or do you want to start again?
we'll start again. I'll yield to Gordon's fantastic dice. Congratulations, Gordon. I shake your hand virtually. And we'll do it again.
I've never seen...
To be fair, my dice were absolutely shocking. For morale rolls, I rolled a 1, a 0, and a 2. So I was never going to do very well. But hey ho, that's the dice gods for you. Post game, I reflected, and the house rules are generally good, but I felt the officer rules weren't quite right. So I thought I need to talk to Alex. So we had a Zoom call and I recorded it, and here it is. Good evening, Alex.
Hello, Graham.
Right, so this is post-event from the game we played last night at Farnborough Wargames Club. Yeah, I mean, as you've just seen in the video, because I'm going to bolt this on to the end of the video, Alex. It was a painful experience in many ways. Now, my dice were absolutely shocking, and I will I will number crunch it a little bit and just do a little, but it was painful. But why I kind of asked you we could have a chat today was because what we've done, and for those who watch the video would appreciate, we've introduced some house rules for muskets and tomahawks. And that's for our own use, and it's our own choice in how we play the rules and how we interpret them, and to improve the gameplay for us at the club. I'm not saying the way the rules have been written are wrong, but for us and the way we play, we've tweaked it a little bit. There's one particular thing which was very apparent in the game that is not quite right. But I'll just very quickly, and I mean very quickly, just go over the house rules that we've introduced. So the first one, and correct me if I say any of these wrong, Alex, was close and unformed formations. Now, we came to the conclusion that unformed is the key word, is that there's a gap between how you can categorize what formation they are. So you've got extended order, which is your skirmishers. You've got your close formation, which is when you're doing a volley fire. But there's something in the middle that had no category, which was important to categorize it. So we created a term called unformed troops. And as you saw in the rules, once you get below 6, then you become unformed, but you're not in extended order. And also we introduced some rules that some troops could not go into extended order, because in previous games, and I've done it, we've had a unit of 4 that become extended order, close formation infantry, which is wrong. And it's a bit like having skirmishers, firing in the line, which the 95th did at Waterloo, but it's kind of a rarity. So that's one thing. Second thing, we changed the rules again for shooting with close order, and you saw it with Gordon last night in the game, where we said the front rank can fire, they don't get a fire marker, but they've got an arc of 45 degrees, not 180 as skirmishers or extended order. And those two things work really well. I'm really happy with them. In fact, that second one makes a big difference to the game, and it makes the game very playable. Third one was light and skirmish units, and again we were just sort of categorizing what they are, how they can shoot, and again it just gave us clarity in the way we play, just gave us a little bit of structure, which again was good. Next one, additional melee house rules. One of the things we felt that was wrong, if you had shaken troops, they go into melee or they're charged, they should have some sort of negative impact. And again, although we haven't seen it in games we played, or last night's game, because it was all shooting from range, it's a good one, and we have used it in the past and it worked well. All these things we've said so far, and to be fair, Alex has done really well introducing these rules and working on them. The one that kind of, well, I'm talking to you on a Saturday night, Alex, is the officers' house rules. Now, we believe, you should be able to kill the officer. And the rules as they stand at the moment, we're not completely comfortable they work quite right. I mean, you think about the 95th or the Voltigeurs, they were trained to look for officers to shoot the guys at the front rank, and that's what their job was. So officers do get wounded, and as it stood, they're very hard to kill. So we trialled a rule last night that really didn't work that well. The rule actually comes from sharp practice, and in melee, when you take a number of hits, so if you get 3 kills on your unit, if you roll 1 less than the number of kills you get as a one-off roll, your officer dies. And unfortunately, last night we did that. In the first game, I lost a couple, and in the second game, I lost a couple more as well. Which, so, Alex, so it's just really to get your thoughts on the officer thing. Whether we get the answer tonight, we won't. But I just wanted to explain to the subscribers quite why we've been trying to get this right. And what's your thoughts on it, Alex? Explain it.
What you said earlier was absolutely right, because if the rules as they stand, it says here officers for shooting, and if an officer should be removed as a casualty during a shooting attack, they can instead remove a single friendly figure of the troop type situated within 2 inches instead of being killed themselves, regardless of how many rolls of kills succeed against them. I think everyone that we've spoken to agrees that at the moment in a game, it's the officers that are the only ones that are left on the table. They just die. And that really is a bit silly, because as you rightly said, sometimes officers were targeted. If they looked like an officer, they would be shot at. So we just felt that using that the adjustment we made, that if a unit does, if it only loses 1 figure, then you've got to roll a 0. So it's only a 1 in 10 chance that the officer is in fact the casualty, which we thought was quite reasonable. If you lose 2 men, you roll a 0 or 1. It's still only 20% chance. And if you've got a unit of 8 and an officer, that seems to be a reasonable figure. When you start to get higher casualties, like you did last night, when you lost 4 figures to rifle fire, which was shooting by Gordon anyway, and that often doesn't happen like that, but it did last night. You took 4 casualties, and then sadly you rolled really
you were laughing, Alex. How can you say that to me?
I'm trying not to laugh, but it was just an unfortunate incident.
But also remember, with the dice, 0 is 0 or 10 is 0, so that's an extra multiplier on there. So straight away in that first round of shooting, I took 4 casualties, so I was rolling a 0, 1, 2 or 3, so there was a 40% chance that my officer would die, and he did.
But when you consider that in a unit of 8 men, which is what you had, and an officer, a 40% chance of the officer being hit is not a bad. It's about right, isn't it? Unfortunately, you did it. It was quite surprising. And unfortunately, you could argue that you shouldn't really. We've tried this in just the 1 game so far, and it didn't do too well for you. Unfortunately, you did suffer. Maybe we more games, but I still think that the idea is right. The only other thing we could do is we could say ignore noughts in this instance as a low figure, make it as a 10. So in fact, it would have only been hit on a 1, 2, and a 3, which would be only a 30% chance. You could do that, I suppose. It would mean, though, that if you took 1 casualty, then you can't possibly hit the officer, which is probably not a bad thing. So we possibly need to look at that.
Tweak it.
I don't think it's far off, really.
It's fun. In sharp practice, that's the other set of rules we play. When an officer gets hit, you then roll a d6 to determine exactly what's happened to him. And if you roll a 6, he's dead. If you roll a, I can't remember the numbers, 3 or 4 or 5, he's knocked down. And maybe it's just a thought I've just had. Maybe there's a mechanic there that does work. Maybe there is something that we could actually use from there. I don't know.
That is something we could think about, and it's a good idea. In fact, the only thing we wanted to try and do was to not detract too much from the rules. We just wanted to get rid of that, that the officer can never be hit, and
Yeah.
make a simple method of finding out whether he was one of the casualties or not. I think it's something that we could look at. If he is hit, he's not necessarily dead. He might be just stunned for a move, or
I mean, one of the rules, again, if you roll a morale test and your unit routs, obviously you then remove the unit from the table, but the officer's still there. So if a unit routs, then maybe he goes with them. He should be routing along with them. But what's happening, or what's happened in our previous games, is that he's, I've got if you like Spanish, where I've got 4 or 5 officers, and we're playing 500 or 600 points. I'm running with 5 officers, and I could have, officers just getting in the way, which is wrong. So I don't know. I'm not sure we'll get the answer tonight, but what I wanted to share with the subscribers is just an understanding of what we're trying to do, and we'll keep tweaking it until we get there.
See if they can come up with something that might
work. Absolutely. I mean,
if complicated.
If you can see something that you think is wrong, and I say in all my videos, I'm no. For those who watch my saga videos, then no, I do make mistakes with the rules. Even Alex sees them, which tells you how bad my mistakes are. And I'm honest enough to say, look, you learn from your mistakes, but also I'm a big believer in reflection on what you do. And when we play our games, I think we can reflect and improve. That makes the gaming experience better for us. And if other people wish to adopt it, they can. If they don't, then that's up to them as well.
It was always introduced, as you said. You mentioned the other things we've tried. I do like Muskets and Tomahawks, as you well know. I think they're the best skirmish rules out there at the moment by a mile. But there's just a few things that need tweaking to make them even better. But they are house rules, and obviously some people won't want to do what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these house rules are for within Farnborough Wargames Club, and when I did play Wayne the other week, and we took them there. But these are games that I'm involved in, but they're only suggestions. We're not trying to change the world or anything. It's just trying to improve our gaming experience, and if we can do that, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think we'll keep working on that. And what we must do is try not to make a decision based on just one game, because you're very lucky.
What I want to do is get some dice that have no 1s, 2s, or 3s on them, and they just start on 4. I've got 4 4s on them: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what I'm after. But
I felt for you yesterday, mate.
No, you didn't. You were laughing.
You know what I'm like when I roll dice. And you were doing what I normally do, so I've been there.
I've watched you haven't seen the edit yet. I have, and it's not great. Listen, Alex, thank you very much for coming on and speaking to me tonight. And and when we get some ideas, and I'm sure you'll probably put it on your channel as well. And again, have a look at Alex's channel. He is very much a top Muskets and Tomahawks rules, and I know his voice is heard, which is a great thing. So when we know a bit more, we'll let you know. But Muskets and Tomahawks are a great set of rules. I think they're as good as Sharp Practice. I won't go so far as better, but they're different they're good, both good in different ways. And if we can actually improve on what our game experience is, then that's good for us, and that's kind of what it's all about, really. Anyway, listen, Alex, thank you very much for speaking to me. We'll persist, mate. We'll persist.
We'll get there.
We will. If you listen to all that, massive appreciation to you. Thank you very much for doing that. Hopefully we've given you some ideas. If you can give us any feedback, any ideas, positive, negative, about what you've seen, please do it. We are trying to improve our gaming experience. As always, please like, subscribe, share with like-minded. Take care, and see you all on the next video.